Hey Jans, my name is Shambhavi and I was bored of my background so I just changed it. And yeah, today I created this very beautiful cute Valentine Day look on my very cute model. To see how I created this look, let's roll into the main content. First, I'll start with the skincare. Her skin type is combination, so I'm using an oil-free moisturizer to hydrate her skin. And she has a little bit of a skin issue, so I'll use different kinds of primer to tackle some skin issues. I'll massage it really well into her skin for that blood flow, and the skin will absorb the product really well into her skin. I'll clip her hair away from her face so that it will be very easy for me to paint her face. First, I'll use a hydrating glowy primer on her cheeks for that glow from within. Then I'll use a smoothing primer so that the foundation will sit beautifully. And lastly, I'll use a silicone based primer for that creaseless base. I'll only use on that area where she will express her face a lot, like forehead, laugh line, under her eyes, and that's it. Then I'll use a peach color corrector to even out the skin pigmentation, which she has very few, like just under her eyes a little bit, because obviously she's young, a lot of stress of study and everything, we all deal with it. Next, I'll use 2 shades of foundation, obviously, for that perfect match of her skin and tones. I'll buff the product very gently and slowly, and the pressure always keep the pressure really light. It's like icing on cake, you have to keep that pressure. Then I'll use thick cream based concealer to cover some skin issues like acne and pigmentation. Always use a thick concealer to cover acne, and if you have thin concealer, wait for a good minute and then buff the product. You will be amazed by the result. Just point concealing where she has a little bit of acne and skin issue, and then buffing the product. You will see how airy and lightweight my hand is. Keeping the hand and pressure very low and gently and buffing the product. That's how you don't shift the product and the product will stay where you want. Applying concealer onto her mobile lid and buffing the product very seamlessly and with the lightest pressure. And then I'll contour her face, and you know this, that if someone is really cute and chubby, I contour a little bit harsher than usual, and then I'll buff the product really seamlessly so it won't look too much of contoured or too harsh. I'll buff the product with the same foundation brush, because this brush has a little bit of foundation in it. It will buff the product really beautifully and make it really look iridescent and beautiful. I'll buff the contour one more time with a sponge, and then I'll do reverse highlight. If you follow me, you know this. And you guys always ask me that I use one sponge for contouring, concealing, sometimes for highlight too. Doesn't it get messed up? Answer is no, because I use different side of a sponge for different product. Next, I'll bake under her eye, and then I'll powder her base really well, because she has a little bit of texture going on. The more matter her skin, the least texture it will show. So I'm really giving some time and buffing the powder into her skin. Coming on to the eye makeup, first I'll use a grey brown shade and buff it from outer to all over her crease. And then I'll use a reddish brown shade and keep it in tight, buffing it onto the outer crease. And then I'll use another brown shade and keeping it really tight and buffing it just onto the outer corners. And then buffing it with a fluffy brush to mix them all together for that iridescent look. I'll use a cream based glitter eyeshadow and just buffing it onto the center of her mobile lid and inner corners. Then I'll use the same brown shade, 2 shades of brown, grayish brown and reddish brown, mix them together and buff it onto the lower lashes, and that's it for the eye look. It's very easy and yet amazing because of the glitter I used. Buffing the excess powder I baked under her eye. I'll contour her face very naturally, and then I'll use blush very high above her cheekbones to lift her face. And if you are chubby, don't use blush on apple because it will make you look even more chubby. Then I'll use some subtle highlight because of course if I use a very beaming highlight, it will enhance her texture. And then I'm doing her brows, filling it in very lightly and buffing it product into her brows with this spoolie. And to melt the powder into her skin, I'll spread some setting mist and then curling her lashes. And she was comfortable doing mascara on her own, so I let her do that. And then I'll contour her lips with this, outline her lips with this liner. And then using a nude color. And this is the first look. This is the daytime look. I'll pop some lashes to lift her eyes from the corners, and this is the first look. To make it more nighttime sexy and sultry, I'll use a red lip color, and then I'll use a tiniest bit of highlighter onto the cheekbones, into the chin, and to the nose tip, and that's it. This is the nighttime look. I hope you all find it helpful. See you all in my next video, and thanks for watching.